All right. Before we even start this series, I just want to make something clear. The series that I'm starting right now, it's called Hot Takes and Hard Truths. This isn't going to be some kind of motivational seminar. I'm not here to give you cliche advice or even act like I got life all figured out. Because if I'm being honest, I don't. I do not. This is just me talking about the stuff nobody really says out loud. The uncomfortable truths that actually matter. Because everyone loves motivation, until it hurts you. Everyone loves honesty until it points straight at them. But yes, this is the Hot Takes and Hard Truths series, 8-episode series, and here we go. So this whole series is about stripping back the surface. The real sides of discipline, growth, mindset, and even life. You see, some episodes will come from the gym aspects, some from the golf, and some from those quiet nights where you're just stuck in your head. But all of it ties together. All of it ties to one thing. You don't change your life by pretending. You see, you change it when you start being brutally honest with your own self. So if you're here, don't expect perfection. Expect honesty. Expect to get uncomfortable. Expect a few things you might not want to hear. Because every episode in this series is going to dig deeper on self-awareness, expectations, comfort, boredom, alignment, discipline, all of it. And by the end, yes, I said, and by the end, you'll realize something. What you're going to realize is your life doesn't change when you figure it out. It changes when you finally face your own self. All right, let's start from the top. And this is episode 1. You're not as self-aware as you might think. Let's get straight into it. You listening or you watching this video. You're probably thinking, you know yourself. Or, like I say, I know myself. You think you're self-aware. But here's the hard truth. Most people aren't. I said that. I said that correctly. Most people aren't. See, we walk around acting like we've got it all. We got ourselves figured out. All of it. But what we're really doing is we're just managing an image. You see, we've built this version of ourselves that feels comfortable, that feels strong, that feels confident, that feels, indestructible, invincible, as you might say. But it's actually killing our progress. So today we're going to be breaking that down. We're going to be talking about the lies we tell ourselves, the patterns that expose us, and for me, why, if this might relate with you, why the gym, golf, and silence shows the truth more than words could ever. More than words ever could. You see, you might be thinking, you're self-aware isn't the same as being self-aware. Yes, thinking you're self-aware isn't the same as being self-aware. You see, you can list your strengths. You can even admit a few of your flaws, But that's all surface level. Yes. I said that. That's all surface level crap. Sorry, not sorry. You see, real self-awareness, it's ugly. It's uncomfortable. It's realizing that the story you tell yourself doesn't always line up with your actions. You say you're disciplined, but do you skip the hard sets in the gym? Or do you skip days that, I don't feel like going, or having a bad week, or having a bad day, I'm going to skip? Next, you say you're honest, but do you dodge the conversations that actually matter? You say you're working on yourself, air quotes, But do you keep repeating the same habits that broke you last time? Those questions you ask yourselves. Are we disciplined? Are we actually honest with ourselves? And when we say we're working on ourselves, are we repeating old habits? See, that's not self-awareness. What it is, and this might ruffle some feathers, that's ego pretending to be your self-awareness. You see, your patterns don't lie. The way you react under pressure, the way you talk to people when you're frustrated, how you spend your mornings, those three are some of the small amounts of the very broad amounts of who you are, that makes who you are. There's more to them, obviously. Everyone has different ones. But not the version you post online. Not the one you tell your friends about. You see, these patterns are patterns that create you. You might say to yourself that, yes, I can get out of these patterns, but how we're wired is in a way that works with us. Yes, we can try to rewire some things, but it's going to take time, But sometimes we go back to old ways, and that's, it is what it is. It happens. You just got to work on your growth and get better at comprehending or being better at reflecting on what you're doing in the moment. But you can't lie to yourself when you post online. You can't be showing all the highlight reels, or you can't be a fake version of yourself to your friends if you're not being truly honest with yourself. And here's the crazy part. Golf, if you relate with that, gym, work, relationships. You see, those four, those are my four. Those might be your four. We might have some in common, but they all expose the same thing. You see, the moment things stop going your way, your real habits show, your real version shows, and you can't hide it no more. You might be thinking to yourself that, yes, I can push it down and I can keep this fake version or this, character happy and make sure no one sees the truth under the shell. But you can't fake composure on the course for golf. You can't fake it. Once you get in, high stress situations of whatever it is, you can't fake composure. You can't fake consistency in the gym. If you don't show up, you're not going to see the results you want to see. If you don't actually, stay disciplined and stay consistent with it, you won't see the results that you want to see. Main message. And you can't fake integrity when nobody's watching. You see, patterns, they reveal the truth. And if you disagree, we disagree. My opinion is my opinion, and I stand by it. But the patterns we create or the patterns that we have with ourselves, yes, they stick around. But I'm not saying they'll always be around. We have to fix the mind. We have to change our mindset of what we recognize our patterns. We want to fix our patterns, but patterns are the truth to our own selves. The patterns that we create, our habits, or whatever, that's who we truly are when no one's watching. You might be lying to yourself about BS. What you're saying is complete crap. But think about it. When you're behind like the camera, when you're on your own, driving by yourself, someone cuts you off. What are you going to do? Get pissed off, honk your horn? Or are you going to be like, calm down? It is what it is. Maybe in the situation he is something terrible happened. Maybe he's going to see, it's a dad going to see his daughter whose car is pop tire. Like we can't just go all the way to being negative. Composure. Keep a cool mindset. But let's be real. We lie to ourselves because the truth, yes, you heard that, the truth hurts. You see, it's easier to say I'm tired. It's easier to say I'm busy. It's easier to say I'm exhausted. Like you hear that all the time. Then admit you're undisciplined. It's easier to say I'm figuring things out than admit you've been avoiding growth. You see, society rewards excuses. Like I said, I'm tired. I've had a long day. I'm figuring things out. Today's not a great day, like all those quote unquote sayings are just sayings. They're excuses at the bottom line. People call that balance. They call it self-care. But sometimes it's just avoidance dressed up in a nice language. But yes, I'm not saying those are always excuses. Maybe there are days, we feel fully exhausted. We feel fully drained. We are figuring things out. But over time, it gets old. Like if you're really trying to like get somewhere or see the progress, those tired days, those days you figure things out, just do it. Whatever in your mind, do it. Don't be making excuses, because if you're just going to complain about it, who's truly at fault? It's you. It's yourself, because you're putting so much negative energy into the world, into your mindset, that you're going to believe what you say. So switch your mindset to being more positive about things. Because yes, I'm tired. I'm figuring things out. I'm busy. Something's coming up. If it was truly a priority, if it was truly something you cared about, those sayings are just cover up words of, avoiding things that in a way they sound nicer because you're saying them to yourself, but it's not. You see, you can't fix what you don't face. That's just the rules. I didn't make them up. You can't build discipline on denial. Again, it's the rules. I didn't make them up. They've been out in the world. The gym is the mirror. You see, you don't get what you say. You don't get what you say you want. You get what you work for. Yes, I said that correctly. You don't get what you say you want. You get what you work for. You see, if you skip your workouts, what do you think is going to happen? And I'll tell you. You start to put on some more insulation in nicer terms, but your body starts, get tired, get exhausted, get fatigued faster, and you see it. You cut corners on nutrition, your diet. If you think, I have a fast metabolism, or I'm too lazy to cook, your diet will show. And you feel it. You feel sluggish if you start eating more greasy food. You feel even tired is another one, because you're not getting good nutrition in your body. When you have bad foods, you feel the outcomes. It is what it is. There's no hiding it. And life is the same way. For my gym rats, for my gym goers, it's the same way. We use what we do in the gym in our daily lives. It's the same. You see, your habits are showing you the truth every single freaking day. Whether you want to be in denial about it, or whether you want to admit to it. And the people who actually grow, yes, that question, the people who actually grow, they stop lying to themselves. They face their patterns. They actually take accountability, surprisingly. They take the accountability and they take the initiative. And what they do is they build discipline. They build it from honesty. They look at themselves. They see that, they're messing up or they're going through crap. And instead of, being a Debbie Downer or, being negative about themselves, like, they make a difference. They make a change. Or they're willing to make a change. They might get a buddy of them to call them up and call them on their BS and, like, tell them, dude, you're in a spiral. You're in a spiral right now. Get out of it. I'm here for you. It's that simple, and it's that brutal. So here's what I want you to do after this episode. Again, not polished. Just watch yourself. Watch yourself. Watch how you act when things get uncomfortable, when you get in high stress situations. Watch yourself when you start to make excuses of gym, golf, lifestyle, anything. Watch what you avoid. And then ask yourself, why? The big why. Why? See, that's where self-awareness starts. It's asking that question of why and realizing what you're doing, reflecting on yourself and seeing the habits that you have right now, the patterns that you have, and trying to change them. So the real talk is, you can't control everything. You see, I've tried to control everything. Doesn't work. You get more stressed out. You get more overwhelmed. You get more anxious when you think you can control everything. Like, you got to let life be. For me as like a religious person, Christian, I used to always want to control everything. But then I started getting anxious. But as I started reading more scripture of, like, you can't control everything. You just gotta let go, let be, let God do His work, let Him be in your life, and just see the grace that He provides you. Before that, I would say I was a lukewarm Christian, like controlling everything. It was either my way or the highway, like I needed to make sure everything was perfect, straight to the T. Now we're different, because what I did is I literally did what I said. I watched myself. I watched how I was acting when things were getting uncomfortable, when I was in high stress situations. I watched myself when I started making excuses, and I watched what I avoided. And I always asked, why? The big why question. Why am I doing this? Why am I going back to these negativity thoughts or negative, like, brain killing me? We're going to that dark place, But again, you can't control everything. But what you can control is whether you tell yourself the truth. You see, every rep, every round of golf, every moment It's all feedback. So pay attention to that. If this hit you, share it with someone who needs to hear it or hear this. Yes, talking to you. If this hit, share it to someone who needs this. I know you know someone who needs this. And make sure you're following for the next episode of Hot Takes and Hard Truths. Because next up, we're talking about something a lot of people get wrong. You see, the grind isn't the problem. Your expectations are. And if you thought this one was honest, oh, just you wait. That one's going to sting even more. See you there.